तर so hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So basically, we are conducting end-to-end SQL basic to advanced class with the project. So basically, this is the day two. So in a second day, we will learn the different things. So basically, in a previous session, we will learn that how the basic of the databases and how we can connect with database using the MySQL Server database. Also, we check how we can install the MySQL Server database. Okay. So once that we completed, then we have created the database on the SQL Server. Okay. So in the last session, we have completed we have created the company DB. Under that we have the created one table, like, so this is my table, so employee table. So basically in that we have learn how we can create table. After that we have check how we can create a table, and after that we have also check that how we can what are the different type of data types available in SQL, and how we can create a table, and after that how we can insert the data into that table. So in a previous session I have explained step by step complete guide, so you can watch my previous session. So now the session 2, basically in a day 2. So basically we will check the basic SQL query. So in a SQL query, and also we will also check that the SQL function. So what are the different type of SQL function available in a MS SQL server. So basically for this MS SQL, for this SQL classes we will use MySQL sorry, we will use a MS SQL server database, and in that MS SQL server database we will create the table, and we will perform the whatever the practical operation. Okay. So the day 2, basically we are not going for the theoretical part, we directly go for the practically session. So basically in the last session we have created a table. After that in a session 2, the theory part is the select statement, and then we will go for the filtering the data based on the where condition, then sorting the data using the order by, and also we will using the distinct between in, like, and is null. These are the different type of keyword that will be used for the filtering the data. So we will check all these things, and also we will check the syntax for this. Okay. So before that, so as of so in a last session I will ask you for the creator the student table, and also basically we need to create a department table. Okay. And also we need to add the constraint on this table. So basically the we will check how we can create a table and how we can add the constraint on this table. Okay. So for that, so basically for the creating the table, so basically I will go for the scratch. So basically this is my student table. So I need to create the student table under the company database. So for that, basically first of all, we will go to the that database. After that, we will click on the new query. So basically, it will be the query will be fire on the particular this database. Okay, so company and the company DB. So once you click there, then first of all we need to create the table like this structure. So student table, in that roll number, student name, department ID, and marks. So these are the different type of column in that table. So for that, so first of all I have already created database. So we will use the same database for this creating the table. So for the create table, so we will type query create table, and after that table name. So this is a syntax for the creating the table. So in my case the table name is a student, so I will give the name student. Then after that we will opening bracket closing bracket. So in between that we will add a column name. Okay. So first name is the roll number, so I will directly copy this one, roll number, and this is the data type. So first of all you can check the data type, it will be looking like the number data. So for that, in a MS SQL server we will use a data type as the integer. So int is the data type, and also in this table we need to add the primary key. Okay. So for that, So the same, when we create the table, that time we will like say that primary key. So then we'll put a comma, so it will be indicating that this is the primary key column. Okay, then secondly, the student name. So basically this is the second column, so we will use the same name, student name, and it is a the varchar data type. It is a combination of the numbers, and so basically it is a basically for the character. So for that we will use the varchar. So basically we will use the data type as a varchar. Okay, and after that we will put some the numbers, like how the numbers mean. Basically the this is the data type for the student table, sorry, student name, and how much it will be acquired the space, like we need to define the space for that particular data type. So basically this is the length for the ram is a 3, then 4. So we will define the as per the requirement. So as of now I will set the length for this 15, then I will add the comma, then going for the next, for the next is the department id. So for the department id I will directly take the name department id, I will put here. Then it is the data type is the integer. So you can check. So basically this is a data type, like it is a numbers value. Okay, so for the storing the numbers value we will use the int data type. So integer, it is a range between the 0 to 55. Okay, so it is a integer. So I will directly define the integer, and then the next is the marks. So you can check. So this is the last column. So it is looking like, so many of student basically will fail. So basically you can check, this is a 40, this is a 15.5, this is 60, and this is 80. So it is a one kind of the floating value. So whenever the any kind of the data in a represent in a precision, so for that we will use either the decimal data type or the floating data type. So in my case I will use the float as a data type. So I will use directly marks as the float data type. Okay, and this is the thing that done for the student table. So as of now the student table, now I will run the query. So now the data, this is the table will created. So how to, so this is for the student table. Then we will create a next table, that is the department table. So in the department table, if you check department id and department name. So for that, so first of all I will use the create table, then department. Okay, and after that single quote in the bracket. So first is the department id. So this is the department id is the primary key on the department table. So we will add the department id as an integer, and it is the primary key. Okay, then next is the department name. Okay, so for the department name, it is the varchar type data type. So it is the numbers, sorry, it is the alpha numeric. So for that we will use the varchar data type. So department name, so department underscore name, so it is the varchar, and I will define the 10. So now the date, this table we have completed. Okay, so now I will execute the query. Okay, so the this is the two table we have created. Now what we can do, so we will select the data. So select for the retrieving the data, as you know. So basically in the session, so we need to practice on the select statement. So basically select statement, it will be useful for the for the selecting or retrieving the data from the table. So the select statement, it will be useful for that. So in the select statement, the syntax for the select statement, so for the selecting the data from the any table or any the view or anything, so first of all we will use the select star from, and after that table name or any kind of view or any object. So as of now we have created the two tables, student table and department table. So I will directly select the table detail. So as of now there is no data, and for the second table is also we will use the select command. Okay, select from the department. Okay, so as of now there is no data in both table, so I will not select. Then the next one is a insert. Okay, so insert command. So basically for the insert, it will be useful for the inserting the data into table. So for that the syntax is like this: insert into. So this is the syntax for the when we insert the data, like insert into, after that the table name. So this is my student table, so I will use the student, and after that the columns name. So in a student table there are roll number, after that student name, after that department ID, after that department name. So this is a different columns that basically in a student table, and after that values. So as per the requirement, so we need to provide this value. So I will directly copy and paste here. So the numbers, so basically this is the numeric data, so we will use directly. Then ram, after that comma, then 1 is the department ID, and after that 40 is the value. Okay, and then it will be, so this is my first record, so I will directly execute. So it will be in department name, invalid column name, department name. Okay, okay, sorry. So this is the marks. Okay, so this is the marks. So I will execute the query. Now data inserted. So now what I will do, so I will copy. So first record we have inserted, then we will move the next, then we are going for the next. Now for the fourth record, so for the number, after that single quote sham, after that comma, and after that comma. Okay, okay, so these are the different the records we need to insert. So using the insert statement we will insert the data. Okay, now the data will inserted. Now I will comment this command, and now I will select the data from the this table. Okay, so select star from table. So this is my data. Now just we have inserted. Okay, so now the same thing we will insert for the department table. So then insert into department, then we need to provide the column name like a department ID, and comma, then second column is the department name, so we will provide the second name, department name, then we will provide the values. Okay, so for the as per this, so we need to provide the value like 1 comma computer, so the computer is the department name. So same like that we will insert for the remaining two columns. So this is my electronic, then third one is the mechanical. Okay, okay, so these three records now we will insert into the department table. So I will directly execute these three statement. Okay, so now the data inserted in this table, so I will comment this table. Okay, so now what I will do, so I will select the data, we will retrieve the data using the select statement. Okay, so select star, star indicate that all the columns. Okay, suppose for example we need only the department id, then we need to provide the department underscore id, so then it will be select only the department id. Okay, so okay, so sorry, department id, so it will be selecting the whatever the column that we provided in a select. So basically star indicate that all the column. Okay, so this is the indicating the all the column from the table, so it will be not filtering the any kind of the column. Suppose we required only the single column from the table, so we will provide the name. Okay, so for example department id, or in a student table we required only the student name, so we will just provide the name of the column and we will retrieve the data. Okay, and after that if suppose you want the first will be select as a student name, then comma you can provide the star, so it will be first column which will be student name, and then whatever the other remaining data it will be appear. Okay, like roll number, student name, department and marks. So like this we will use for the select statement for the retrieve data from table. Okay, so for the retrieving the data from the table we will use the select statement. Okay, so then insert statement for the insert the data into table. So this command will be useful for the inserting the data into the any kind of table. Okay, so this is basic thing for the insert and create. Okay, so then the second in as per the, so for the filter the data with where clause. So basically the where condition, so basically where condition when we will use the where condition. So for example, so this is my table. Okay, so in this table I want only the data. So for this, for example, so what in a when we will use the where condition. Okay, so basically the where condition it will be filtering the data. Okay, so the for that, for example, this is my current table. So in this table these are the different type of data, but if suppose in my table thousand number of record, so if I want only the filter the data based on the particular condition. Okay, so that time we will use the where condition. Okay, so where condition, so where clause it will be useful for the filter the data. Okay, so or condition based data. So for example, in a where condition we need to filter the data like for example roll number For example, in this table we need to check basically for the who belongs in a computer department, right? So basically, for example, the department id is there, so department id 1 means this is the computer department. Suppose we want to filter the data only for the computer department, we need to check uh, means basically for the student who belongs from the computer department. So for that, how we can retrieve the data using the filter condition, using the where condition we will filter the data. Or for example, we will check the for example the marks. For example, we will check the greater than 15 marks for the every student. Okay, so for that also we will use the where condition along with the arithmetic operator. Okay, so what how we can filter the data, that we can check. Okay, so first of all, I will give the syntax. So basically, the where condition, it will be useful for the filtering the data. Okay, so for where condition, basically after that condition, where clause after that condition, basically it will be come with condition. So when we give the when we use the where clause, that time we need to provide the condition. Okay, so for example, syntax for example, select star from table name and where, and after that condition. Okay, so this is a syntax for the where condition. Okay, so the basically the where condition we will use, we are also called as the where condition. Okay, so as of now, what we will do, so we need to so find the so this is a statement. So find the student name who are belong from the computer department. Okay, so how we can complete this one? So first of all, we will select, we will use the select star from, and after that we will use the table name. So as of now we are using the student table, because of we will perform the operation on the student table. Okay, so select star from student. Okay, so this is my first step. So I will select the table, but I don't need all the data, I need the data only for the computer department. Okay, so student who are belong from the computer department, like this is a department id 1 is the computer department. So basically how we can identify, so basically we have the another table. So this another table is the department table. So as of now I will not go in the for the joins or this thing. Basically I will initially I will go from the basic level to advanced level. So the department id 1 is the computer department. So we need to filter the data based on this condition. So we got the condition, the basically where the department id. So how we can write, basically this is department id, and where the id equal to 1. Okay, so basically it will be indicating that key, it will be, this is the one type of the condition. So I will write condition select star from student where, so this is where clause where the then then we will use, this is the department id, and where the values equal to 1, because of 1 indicating as the computer department. So I will use id equal to 1. So this is my condition. Okay, so now I will execute the data. Okay, so we will got this data like Ram and Sham who belong from the computer department. Okay, so this is the data we required. Okay, so based on the where condition we filter the data. Okay, so this is my output. Okay, okay, so the now you will understood what how we can write a where condition. Then the sorting the data using the order by. Okay, so the sorting the data means data will be arranged either in a ascending order or descending order. So basically in Excel, how we can do that? So basically we will add the filter. Okay, so this is filter. So we have added the filter. Okay, and then we will sort the data like marks. So if suppose whatever the highest mark it will be should first, so we will sort the data like largest to smallest. Okay, so like this is the order. So the student Nikita having the highest mark, so it will come first. So this way we call as a filter the data. So this will be a check in a Excel, but how it can be done in a SQL. So basically for that we have the use of order by clause. So order by clause, it will be useful for the sorting the data, either it will be ascending order or it will be descending order. So for that we will use the order by clause. So in a SQL programming we will use the order by clause. So I will explain you how we can use the order by clause. Okay, so fit is the order by. So order by, it will be the syntax for the order by. Syntax, like first of all the order by we will use with select, then star indicate that column name from table, then we will use the order by, and then we will give the name of the column, column 1 comma column 2. So we will give the as per the requirement. So we will give the like column 1 column 2 or like this, and then either it will be ascending or it will be descending. So basically the default, the if you use order by without any decide by the either it will be ascending or descending. So default it will be take the ascending order. So how I can show you, I will show you. Okay, so we need to so first of all I will refresh the data. So for the example, select star from, this is my student table. I will take the student table, select star from student. So if I execute this table, so now the data it will be showing like the roll number 1 2 3 4 like this. But I need the data based on the whoever the maximum mark it will be first. Okay, so like this way, like the roll number for Nikita having the marks 80, so it will become first, after that 60, after that 15.5, and after that 60. So how we can do that? So basically for that we will use the order by clause, and in order by clause we want the data based on the this marks column. So in a order by clause we will use the marks as a column. Okay, so for that, so I will use after that order by, and then we will use the okay. So basically we will order the data based on the ascending or descending. So for that we need to provide the column name. Okay, so we will provide the, if suppose we required the multiple column is required, then you can also provide the multiple column. But in this the case we will use the as the only one column. So that is the So this one marks. Okay, so because of we need to arrange the data based on the marks column. So here what I will do, so I will directly use the marks. Okay, and I need the data based on the descending order. But default, if I run the query, so I have not set any the order, right. So I have not set like ascending or descending, but if I execute this one, so it will be default, it will be based on the whoever the lowest mark, like ascending, like 14, 15.5, then 60, then 80. So like this order it will be, data will be showing. Okay, so you can check. So in our lecture, so basically the data, first of all the RAM 40, then second 15.5, then third is the 60, and fourth is the 80. So the default it will be arrange the data in a ascending order, but now we will require the data in a descending. So for that we will use the DESC. Okay, so this is the indicating descending order. Okay, now you can check the data, it will be arranged in a descending order like 18, 16, 15.5 and 40. So this is my output for the order by clause. If I use the order by clause, then data will be sorted based on the order. Okay, so this is for the order by clause. Okay, so now for the next, so using the distinct between in and like. Okay, so I will use all the keywords. Okay, so basically this all the, it will be useful for the filtering the data. So if I show you, so first of all we will check the distinct. So basically distinct, it will be given the distinct value from the table. So distinct means unique value from the table. So basically in a SQL server, if suppose we want the distinct value from the table, so for that time we will use the distinct keyword. Okay, so for how, so select star from, this is my student table. Okay, so in this student table, if suppose I need the value like based on the distinct, so like a distinct the name, like, so for example, so for example if you check in this table, so there are the department ID is a duplicate, but I need the distinct department ID. So only one record for the unique record for the particular department. So for that, if suppose I will add the department ID, then I will execute the query. So if I execute the query, then you can check only the, okay, so if I execute the query, then it will give me the distinct department ID. So if you check in my department table, so there are the four records, but if I use the distinct keyword, then it will be give me the unique value from this table, from this column. So if you check the column value, like 2 is a 2 time, 1 for the 2 time. So but in query in a distinct, it will be give me the unique value from this table. So this is the use for the distinct. Okay, then for the next, so between operator. Okay, so this is also one of the operator that will be frequently used in a SQL query. Okay, so for example between keyword, it will be useful when the we say particular range of the data, so then it will be keyword will be used. So for example we will filter the data particular range. Okay, so for example in my this table, So if you check the marks column, it having the different value like 80, 60, 50, 40. Okay. So but I need the data only from the for example, means basically the data between the like 15 to 16. Okay, the data only from the 15 to 16, or let's say the data from the 35 to 85. Okay, so if suppose I need the data only from this particular range, then I will use for the between operator. Okay, so how we can use the between operator? So basically for that, select star from, this is my table, so I will use this table, and then I will use the where condition. After that, where the, because of we need the data based on the marks column. Okay, so I will use marks column, then I will use the between keyword. So then I will provide the name, I will provide the value. So basically the syntax for this, the select star from, then table name, then we will use the where condition, then we will use the column name, then we will use the between keyword, and after that we will put a values one, like syntax I will, select star from table where, then we will use the column, and then between, and then we will use the value 1 and value 2. So this is my syntax for the between this operator. Okay, so select star from student where the marks between, then I will provide the first value, like I need the data the 35 to 65. Okay, 35, so I will provide the 35 and 65. So if I execute this query, then I will get the data only in between that. So if you check, so I have data, I will receive the data only from the it will be the 35, in between the 35 to 65. So if you check 40, 50, then 60, it will belong from this two value, like this is the range 35 to 65, and this range we will retrieve the data within the between, this is the keyword. Okay, for that. So then for the next, in operator. Okay, so in operator, this is also important. So in operator, so basically the in operator, that will be the multiple value we will retrieve from the table. So for example, the syntax, so the same syntax, select star from table, then where, then column, and then we will use the in keyword. Okay, select star from table where, then column name, and after that we will use the in, and then in a bracket we will provide the value, comma, value 2, comma, like that. Okay, so how we can use this one? So for example, so I will use select star from, the table name is the student table, and then I will use the where, then I will use the marks, and then I will use the marks in, then opening bracket, closing bracket, then in between that I will use particular value. Okay, like for example, I need only the record for the 35, or I need the record for the 40. So if the data is exist in the table, then it will be show you the data like 35, 40 or 50 or 60. So if data is exist, then data will be retrieved from the table. So you can check, so two row will be written. So the 35, as you know, so 35 not available in a database. So this data, this for this data will be not retrieved. But for the 40 and 60 data is exist. Like this is the roll number 3 Arun and roll number 1 for the Ram. So this two record is exist. So due to that, the two records will be reflected. Okay, and 50. So basically, if you check in a database, the value should be 15.5. So the data will not taken because of this is a one floating type data. If suppose in case we use 15.5, then data will be returned. Okay, so you can check. So I have changed the like 15.5, then data will be returned. So this is the use for the in keyword. Okay, then the next one is a like operator. So basically this is also very important operator that will be used in a SQL. So the like operator, so like operator, it will be the matching operator, like string matching operator. It will be used with the different the parenthesis. Like so like operator it will be useful for the when we use a percentage sign, then when we use a underscore means single string, and basically for this we will use the like operator. So how we can use the like operator? For example, in my in this table, so I need the data like the student name whose name starting from the A. Okay, so for example, in this student table, so there is a student name column, and in the student name I need the data for the student name whose name starting with A. So how we can retrieve the data? Because of we unknown the after the basically we know the character or we know the name from the table, but we have the filter the data based on the A. So for that we will use the syntax like select star from, then table name is my student, and then where condition where, and we need the data like student name. So I will use the column name as a student name, and then I will use a like. Here I will use a like keyword like, then I will provide the name like we need to provide the string. Okay, so for example, the name starting with A, and after that we don't know how much the length for that string or how much the character in that, but the student name starting with A. So if I run this query, then I will get, okay, so student name, so stud name, then I will execute. So I will get the one data. So Arun, so Arun is the student name whose name starting with A. So this way we have filtered the data using the this like operator. Okay, and also we also use for the like the different the parenthesis for this, like the student name ending with N or a different kind of, for example, the student name ending with M. So how we can write the syntax for that? Though basically first of all the ending with M, that means ki before the M whatever the character that we don't know, so the last character is the M. So we will use percentage sign and after that the M character. Okay, then I will, if I run the query, then I will get the two records which having the ending with M character. Okay, so this is used for the like operator. And then is null. So basically is null operator also is a condition based. So basically this will be useful when there is a null uh, value in any table. Select star from student, and where So is null is basically useful for the filtering the data. So for example, is null means it will be retrieve the data who having the null value. So as of now in my table there is a basically there are no null value. So it will be not retrieve any kind of data. But is there any kind of null value, then it will be retrieve the data from the table. So I will show you how we can write a query. So select star from student where student name and then is null. So basically the query it will be retrieve the, if suppose in my student table student name if any kind of value will be null, then it will be return the that particular record. Okay. So if suppose I will execute this one. So as of now there is no data that will be null data in my table. So it will be return the zero record. But if any kind of null record, for example if suppose we will add one record as a null, like so we will insert one more record, record number 5, Ankita. So department ID 3 and so if suppose I will execute this query, and as of now I will use the null record for the student name. So one row affected. So I have added one record as a null. Okay. And if you check the table, in this table there is a one record which having the null. Okay. So if you check the roll number 5 and student name should be null. It is a blank, and then department ID 3 and after that mark. So if suppose we want the data for the null value, okay, so we will use a is null keyword and we will take the data directly from the table. So if I execute the query, or sorry, okay, so I have inserted blank. So instead of the blank we will insert the null record. Okay. So record number 6, then here we specify like null, the department ID 3 and mark should be 70. And if I execute the record and now if I run the query, then I will get one record. Okay. So because of it will be null record. Okay. So if suppose we need the blank, then we will use your name should be, it will be retrieve the fifth record because of this is a indicating the blank record. Okay. So student name like the blank. Okay. So this is the thing that we can do for the blank record. Okay. So for the blank that means ki there is no value, but null is one kind of the value. Okay. So then we have completed for the what are the different type of operator that will be useful for the SQL server. Then we will go for the next. So as of now we have already checked with practical how we can retrieve data, how we can sort the data, and then how we can filter the data. Okay. So apply the missing data. So this we have completed. So now we will go for the aggregation function, whatever the different type of string function, and what is the date function. Okay. And before that we will go for the different type of operator in a SQL. Okay. So whatever the different type of operator in a SQL. So there are different type of operator available in a SQL. So the operator like plus sign, then minus, then star, then divided, then modulo operator. Then also we have the different type of operator like the bitwise operator like and percent sign, then the bitwise or, then bitwise exclusive or, then the operator like equal to, less than, greater than, then we have the not equal to. So these are the different type of operator like not equal to, then modulo equal. So these are the different type of operator. And also we have the logical operator. So like all, and, any, between. So we have also checked the and, between, exist, in, like, not, or. So this is a different type of operator in a SQL. So basically we will check in a practically how we can use the operator in a SQL server. Okay. So basically the operator, as you know, so basically the different type of operator. So basically operator like equal to, then so equal to operator already we use like in this is a equal to operator. Then we will also check with different operator like in operator, like operator, is, null, like. So these are the different type of operator available in the SQL. So I will give the example like, for example, the greater than or less than operator is also one kind of the operator. Greater than, less than, then we have the percentage sign, we have the minus sign, then we have the plus sign. Then this is the commonly used the operator. And we will check how we can use the operator for the performing the any kind of operation. Okay. So for example, I need the data from this table like the marks, the greater than 35. Okay. So I need the data, the student who are having the marks greater than the 35. So how we can write a query for that? So select star from, then I will use the student table, and we need to filter the data based on the marks. So I will use the column as the marks. Okay. So I will use where marks. Then I will use the only the data means marks greater than. So this is the one operator greater than 35. So this is a greater than sign. So if I run the query, then I will get the data like whoever the marks greater than the 35. If suppose I will retrieve only the marks greater than 80. So if I execute, then it will filter the data only the greater than 80 marks, like 19.5 is the marks. Okay. So this way we can use the different type of operator in a SQL server. Okay. Then aggregation function like sum, count. So I will also share you the detail for this, how we can use the aggregation function. Okay. So the aggregation function like the sum, count, average, mean, max. So this is the another the way. So we can find the summation. Like for example, select star from student table, and I need the summation of the marks. Okay. So this is my marks column, and I need to write how much a total marks. Okay. So for the all the student. Okay. So how we can use for that? So I will use the sum function. Okay. So basically for that I will create a new column, the sum of the marks. Okay. As total marks. If I execute, then it will be given the error because of If you check, so what is the error? Invalid the select because of it is not contain either the aggregation function. So whenever we use any kind of the aggregation function, then we will use a group by clause. So I will also explain how we can use a group by clause. Okay, so the group by clause. So basically the group by clause, it will be useful for the grouping the data based on the condition. So for example, in this table I need the group the data based on the roll number. Okay, so for that, basically whoever the department ID belongs from the department ID to, this is the one group, and this is the my second group. So how we can write the query for that? So for that I will use the group by clause. Okay, so in this case I will use group by. So whatever the column in my this table, like STUD, based on the student name. Okay, so now if I execute the query, then it will be working fine because of we have to filter the data based on the student. Okay, so we were the student, whatever the data, it will be filter the data. But the student, all the student are the unique. So for example, if we need the data based on the department ID, so instead of the student name, if we use the DPT department ID, and also in a group by also we need to filter the data based on the department ID. Because of I need the data based on the department ID, this department ID. So if I run the query, then I will get the data from the database. So if you check, so department ID 19.5, the 2 is the 140, and 3 is the 160. So how we can check that? So I will copy this one, and I will paste here. So basically, if you check, so department ID 2, if I use this 2, or I will take the directly table. Okay. So this is my updated table. So for the department ID, there is a 2 record, and if you add these two values, so it is a 19.5. So the same for the department ID 1, and department ID 2, if you check the 16 plus 80, so it is the 140. So 140 for the department ID 2, and for the department ID 3, so it is the 2 records. So it will be 19.5 plus 70, it will be 160.5. So this is my output for the when I group the data based on the department. Okay, when I the group the data based on the department ID. So this is the data for that, and this is the aggregation function as a summation. Okay. Also we can use the different aggregation function like mean, max, average. Okay. So for that, how we can write a query? So for example, select star from. So this is my student table. I need the max mark. So I have used max. After that, marks. So it will be give me the maximum marks from the table. Okay, so 19.5 is the highest mark in my table. If you check in the table, so this is the mark, that is the maximum mark for the table. So basically, if suppose we need the minimum marks from the table, so we will use select min. So min is the operator, that is the aggregation function. So we can use for the in this case. So this is the minimum marks from the my table. So 40 is the minimum marks. Okay, so we can also use the average and count function. So for the count function, we can also check how many number of records in my table. So we can use count function. So count, after that star, it will be give me the number of count from the table. So if you run, so you will get the 6. So 6 means, so it will be indicating that in my table there are 6 record. Okay, so this is my count from the my table. Okay, so this is the use for the that the purpose. Okay, so apart from that, so now we will check for the next, like concat string function. So basically the length function, so the concat function, substring function, that I will explain you in the next section. And then get date function. So basically this is also different type of date function that available in a SQL. So I will go through one by one. So basically the get date function, so basically it will be return the current system date and time. So if suppose we selected, so the different type of date function. So this is a different type of date function in a SQL server. So for example, the get date function, it will be return the current system date and time. Select get date, then it will be show you the current date and time. So today's date and time. So you can check. So this is the 2025 3-4. So this is the current date and this is the time for the system. Then the next one is the date difference. So basically date difference, it will be useful for the whenever we the count the difference from the one date to the different date. So for example, so if you check, so this is the basically return the difference between the two date in a specified unit. So basically the syntax for that, select date difference, then interval, then start date and end date. So as a date difference. So basically for example, interval means we can say the year, month, then we can say the day, hours, minute and second. So and we need to provide the two date. So basically it will be based on the two date, like start date and end date. So for example, I will show you the with example. So the date difference. So for the date difference, how you can retrieve the data. So if I suppose select date DIFF, so it having the three parameter. First one is the interval and then start date. So for example, I will give the get date. So this is my start date, and the second date is my, or I will what I will do. So I will use the date function, like the first date. Okay, so for this we need to provide the two date. It is a starting date. So if suppose the this is the one date, so this is the today date, and if I provide you the 10, so the difference is the 6. Sorry, different is the 6 because of, so for this is the month's day. I need to difference in a day. So if you check 2025, this is the month, this is the year, this is the month, and this is the day. So is a 4, we minus means difference between the these two table two different date is a 6. Okay, so if I execute, then it will be give me the 6 because of the we need to provide the difference in a day format. Okay, so this is the reason it will be show me the difference in a date. So for example, if I provide you the like I will change the month is the 6, and I will here I will provide the month. So it will be give me the difference between the in a month. Okay, so if I execute, then it will be written as a month. So 3 months is the difference. So you can check. So 2025, this is the third month and this is the 6 month. So total difference is the 3 months. Okay, then if I give the year. Okay, so that means ki if suppose, then it will be give me the year difference. So as of now, the same year, so it will be return me 0. So because of this is the same year, so it will be give me the 0 as a year. So this is the date difference. Then date add. So basically we need to add the date. So basically I will show you first of all the theory part. So basically date add, it will be useful for the whenever we need to add the or subtract the number of unit from the date table. Okay, so date. Okay, so basically if suppose syntax for the select add date interval then number and date, so as a new date. So for example, interval can be year, month, day, hours, minute or second. So how we can use for the date add function, so I will show you. So same like that we also use for the date add function. Select star from, and it having also the three parameters. So first parameter is a, if you can check, so first parameter is a the interval, the number and date. So the interval means the year, date or hours. We can add in the date. Okay, so as of now I will add the day. Okay, so the day, and this is my how many day we need to add. So I will add the 5 day, and then we need to provide the date. Okay, so this is my date. In a current date I need to provide the 5 day. Okay, so become this will date become a, so if I provide the 5 day, then it will be uh, 4 5 6 7 8 9. So it will be give me the date is a 9 date. Okay, so if I run the query, then it will be give me the 2025, this is the third month and this is the day. So this will be add, we can add or subtract the date. Okay, so for example, in a current date, in this date I need to minus the today. Okay, then I will provide the minus 2. If I run, then it will be give me the second date. Okay, you can check 2025 third and 2. So basically this is the date operator, date, a different type of date function, and it will be most of used in your project, or if you are the any kind of scenario where we need to provide the, we can add the date, we can subtract the date, or we can retrieve the dates, month, year from the date. Okay, so this is the thing that we have done. So so in our today's session, that's it. So this is the different, we check the string only for the string function remaining. So I will explain in the next section. Okay, so now we are ending the session. So thank you for the joint session, and if you have any query, any question, you can mention in a comment.